Be ready, because while most people remain completely unaware of what's about to unfold, you're already being quietly positioned at the edge of something powerful. This isn't just a moment where you feel a little more awake than usual. This is the calm before a storm that isn't even on most people's radar. While the collective consciousness is focused elsewhere, distracted by noise, looking at the wrong planets, waiting on dates that won't bring what they expect, there's something far more transformative moving beneath the surface, and it's gaining momentum fast. Mars is silently advancing toward Uranus, and almost no one is prepared for what that truly means. This isn't just another astrological aspect passing by with little consequence. This is a volatile alignment, an energetic confrontation that's designed to jolt something awake inside of you. What's coming isn't just about celestial shifts out there. It's about internal evolution. The type that doesn't ask politely, but demands change through a sudden and forceful test of spirit. You won't be warned when it happens. There will be no clear label telling you, "This is your test." It will arrive in disguise. A passing moment, a fleeting conversation, a seemingly minor opportunity, or a peculiar instinct you can't explain. And in that instant, everything hinges on how you respond. You won't have time to overthink it. Your inner knowing, your courage, your timing, those will be the deciding factors. And what comes next will change according to what you choose in that moment. If you've recently felt like something is finally shifting in your favor, maybe a breakthrough you didn't expect, a small but meaningful win, or the opening of a door you thought was closed, don't dismiss it. That's a sign. You're already aligning with this powerful energy wave. You're catching its early ripples. Let that confirmation sink in, and if you feel called to acknowledge it, speak it aloud or write it down. Maybe even share it with others. Sometimes even typing 222 is more than a symbol. It's a signal to the universe that you're tuned in and consciously participating. Because here's where things get even more interesting. One of the upcoming tests you'll face will involve recognizing someone specific. Not just anyone, but someone who is meant to play a significant role in your journey ahead. They might appear unexpectedly. They may look nothing like you imagined. You might even be tempted to overlook them entirely. But if you do, you'll miss something much bigger than just a connection. You'll miss the spiritual nudge that person represents. So stay awake. Be present. When they appear, there will be a deeper energy you'll sense around them, even if the context seems casual. Right now, a portal is forming, not a soft and graceful one, but a raw vortex between opposing forces. Mars, the planet of war, is charging headfirst with fire and fury. Uranus, the planet of awakening and disruption, isn't responding with equal force. It's doing something more chaotic. It's throwing the sword into the ocean and daring you to dive in after it. One wants confrontation. The other wants unpredictable upheaval. And in the middle of this clash, you're being asked to choose not just how you respond, but who you're going to be on the other side of this collision. Mars wants you to fight, to push forward, to act without hesitation. Uranus doesn't care for your plan. It wants you to break free, to collapse the pattern entirely, to abandon what no longer serves you, even if it's something you thought you needed. Together, this cosmic combination won't wait around for you to feel ready. It's not going to hold your hand. It's going to hurl you into a crossroads and force you to make a decision when you least expect it. Imagine sprinting towards something you've wanted for so long, only for the path to suddenly warp beneath your feet and catapult you in a direction you didn't anticipate. That's what this energy feels like. It's disorienting, it's shocking, but it's also sacred. Because in the mess, in the madness, in the sharp veer off course, there is meaning. This upcoming alignment will trigger not one, but 3 spiritual tests, each one designed to awaken a different part of your soul. And the first one, it's already on its way. This initial test will appear out of nowhere. It won't give you the luxury of time. It might look like a chance encounter, an unexpected phone call, a challenge that makes your heart race, or even a soft inner whisper that refuses to be ignored. And it won't come with flashing signs or detailed instructions. Instead, it will feel like a sudden jolt, a sharp curve in what you thought was a straight road. You'll only have moments to decide how to respond, and that's intentional. It's a test of instinct, of raw courage, of your ability to trust yourself even when nothing around you makes sense. It's not about making the right choice in a logical sense. It's about moving when your soul stirs, even if your mind screams for more time. This is where so many people hesitate. They doubt. They delay. They wait for confirmation that never comes. But hesitation is the illusion. The real power is in your ability to move in the dark, to leap before you feel certain. And if you do, you'll notice it right away. The energy around you will begin to shift. It will feel like something just unlocked, like an invisible weight has been lifted. That's how you'll know you passed. This is what the Mars-Uranus square is bringing, a surge of raw momentum colliding with sudden awakening. It's not just a day on the calendar, it's a process. It builds before, peaks during, and echoes long after. June 17th is the exact point of contact, but its energy pulses between June 16th and 18th in what can only be described as a 3-day spiritual tremor. Think of it like an earthquake. The main event matters, but so does the tension that builds before and the strange stillness that settles in its wake. During these 3 days, you may find yourself more emotionally sensitive than usual. Your sense of time might warp. Things may speed up or slow down in ways you can't quite explain. You might feel electrified with inspiration one moment and completely scattered the next. This is your nervous system responding to the energetic amplification. You're not imagining it. It's real. And it's offering you a chance to meet yourself at a higher level of awareness. The trick is not to resist it. Don't try to make it logical. Let yourself flow with it. Listen deeper. Trust the odd pull. Allow the unexpected to show you something you hadn't considered. Because beyond the surface chaos, there's a deeper order unfolding, one that's meant to realign you with your true path. So while most of the world continues on, unaware of this cosmic doorway opening right in front of them, you are being asked to rise. Quietly, inwardly, bravely. Not by preparing the perfect plan, but by allowing your instincts, your intuition, your soul's quiet flinch forward to guide you. Because this isn't just about passing a test. It's about proving to the universe and to yourself that you're no longer asleep at the wheel. What's happening now isn't something abstract. It's not symbolic or metaphorical. This alignment, this cosmic tension building in the skies, is energetically real. It's alive. It charges the very air around you, not with drama, but with pressure. A spiritual wave is forming, and unlike a sudden thunderclap, this one doesn't strike all at once. It builds, it intensifies, it peaks, and then it echoes. It lingers like a tone that keeps resonating in the soul, even after the sound itself has faded. Most people miss the true nature of it. They circle a date on the calendar, thinking the 17th, or whatever the astrologically significant day may be, is the singular moment when everything will shift. But the universe doesn't move according to our clocks. The first wave could already be flowing through your life. It could look like an uneasy feeling that won't go away. A strange, powerful dream that stirs something inside you. A conversation that cuts deeper than expected, piercing through the surface and speaking straight to your core. These are the whispers before the thunder, the tremors before the quake. And when you finally start to think it's past, that it's over, it returns. That's the echo. That's the universe checking in to see if you're really awake, or if you've already gone back to sleep. This moment isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. The cosmos is not watching to judge you, but to see if you're paying attention. Can you stay conscious inside a vibration that feels so unfamiliar, so strange, that it makes you question everything? Can you recognize the test as it unfolds, or only after it's over and already behind you? Think of these days as the lingering vibration of a bell that hasn't finished ringing. And you're the one it's trying to awaken. It's not calling you to understand with your intellect. It's calling your soul to rise, to feel, to respond. Right now, as this Mars-Uranus square takes form, relationships are under this pressure too. But it won't always look dramatic. It may not come with a storm. You might not see a fight. You might not hear the slam of a door or read a heated message. No, what's more likely is something gentler, but more unsettling. A shift, a slow slide. The subtle sense that someone who used to feel close now feels distant. Conversations feel a little more strained. The spark you once shared seems dimmer. You try to reach out, but it's like knocking on a door that's been shut from the inside. And maybe, just maybe, you're not the one being left. Maybe you're the one drifting. And here's the truth you need to hold tightly in your heart. Don't panic when people feel far away. Don't assume that distance means rejection. This is a recalibration, not a punishment. We are entering a frequency shift that prioritizes vibration over history. That means the people who once felt like home may no longer align with where you're going. Not because of conflict, but because of evolution. The harmony that once existed may now feel like two songs being played in different keys. It's not wrong. It's not anyone's fault. It's simply that the music has changed, and your energy no longer dances in the same rhythm. That's why this moment can feel so confusing. There's no big incident to point to, no obvious fallout, just a quiet disconnection. And that, in many ways, is harder to accept. It's harder to grieve what never exploded, only faded. But this clarity can be your freedom. Understanding this lets you breathe again. Because this isn't about abandonment or betrayal. It's about realignment. It's about making space, not for emptiness, but for evolution. The people who are meant to walk with you into your next chapter will be drawn closer. The rest may begin to fade out, like ghosts who leave before the sun rises. Mars brings motion. Uranus brings surprise. Together, they don't wait for your permission. They speed up what's already been quietly building. So don't be surprised if people vanish without warning, or if you feel a strange pull away from something you once clung to. It's not the end. It's preparation. And preparation sometimes means letting go, even when you don't have all the answers yet. So if you feel space opening up around you, don't rush to fill it. Don't chase old connections out of fear. Let the frequency shift. Let your relationships reorient. What's meant to return will find its way back, not out of obligation, but because it's truly aligned. And once that space begins to clear, something else emerges, something more intimate. A second test, But this one doesn't come from outside. It comes from deep within. This next wave isn't about who walks in or out of your life. It's about what you finally admit you've been craving all along. During this Mars-Uranus square, while the outer world shifts and spins, many people will feel something rise on the inside, a magnetic pull toward something that seems illogical, unpredictable, or even irrational. It won't always make sense, but it will burn, quietly, persistently. A hidden longing will begin to surface, and it won't go away. For some, this may look like a radical lifestyle shift. For others, a sudden desire to express themselves in a way they've never allowed before. It could be a new career path that makes no practical sense but feels deeply right. It might be the urge to leave something behind, something you once believed you'd hold on to forever. Or it might just be the haunting awareness that your current life isn't boring. It's wrong. That you've been following a path that leads away from your soul. This is the second test. Will you face what you truly desire? Will you stop running from what you've buried under guilt, shame, fear, and duty? Because the truth is, we all have sacred cravings. Not indulgent whims, but deeply rooted soul-level callings. And under this astrological pressure, they begin to crack through the floorboards of your life like lightning from below. Mars ignites them. Uranus shocks them into the light. And suddenly, what you've spent years avoiding becomes the very thing you can't stop dreaming about. This isn't about being impulsive. It's not about chasing pleasure or recklessly blowing up your life. It's about listening, really listening, to the compass that's been buried inside of you for far too long. That craving, it's not a weakness, it's guidance, it's truth wrapped in longing. And this transit is your opportunity to finally honor it. You don't have to make every leap overnight, but you do have to stop pretending you don't feel what you feel. This is the moment to be honest with yourself, not just about what you're walking away from, but about what you're walking toward. Your soul already knows. The question is, are you brave enough to follow? Let the alignment stir you. Let the pressure wake you. Let the distance between you and others be what it needs to be. And let your desire, your true, sacred desire, rise like a star finally breaking through the clouds. You are not being tested to break. You are being tested to become. The cravings that rise from deep within you aren't here to ruin you. They're not destructive urges meant to derail your path. In fact, it's quite the opposite. These are the whispers from your soul, asking you to wake up. They aren't the kind that destroy. They're the kind that disturb your illusion. Those sudden waves of longing for something you've told yourself was impossible, irrational, irresponsible, or just too far outside the image of who you've been trying so hard to be. These cravings aren't accidents. They're coded with truth. These cravings aren't accidents. They're coded with truth. You may have spent years shaping yourself into someone that others can understand, approve of, or relate to. You've played roles, you've worn masks, and somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that certain dreams, certain instincts, certain desires were too much, too strange, too risky. So you buried them. You got good at that, didn't you? Folding those truths into silence, dressing them up as illusions or immaturity, telling yourself the timing wasn't right or that you were being foolish. But then, one day, that feeling returns. And here's the real test. Not the kind you prepare for with planners and checklists, but the soul kind. The kind that knocks softly. When that feeling surfaces again, and it will, you'll be given a choice. Will you push it back down? Pretend you didn't hear it? Keep walking the road that feels safe but hollow? Or will you, even just for a moment, reach toward it? Not dive recklessly, not abandon everything, but simply reach, to acknowledge it, to touch the truth of it with your awareness and say, yes, I feel you, you're real. The universe doesn't need you to leap into chaos. It doesn't demand that you turn your life upside down in a single moment. What it's really asking is far simpler and far more profound. Will you stop pretending that your soul's desire isn't real? Because that moment, when you let yourself feel the pull without dismissing it, that is where the shift begins. That is where alignment starts to take form. This is not a storm that comes with thunder and drama. The test won't arrive with flashing lights or a booming announcement. It will come in quiet ways, a fleeting what if that leaves your heart pounding. A whisper of a possibility that feels too delicate to explain, yet too powerful to ignore. And when it does, you'll know. You won't know with your mind. You'll know with your whole being. It won't feel like fatigue. It will feel like your entire nervous system trying to interpret a lightning strike. That trembling sensation that steals your sleep, or that strange hyper-focus that takes over out of nowhere. That isn't you breaking. That's you receiving. Right now, especially in this charged moment, many are already feeling it. The Mars-Uranus square isn't just a distant cosmic event. It's pulsing through your system like a live wire. And your body, your beautiful, sensitive body, is responding. It doesn't know how to process this new level of frequency yet, but it's trying. Your sleep may be erratic. Your energy could be all over the place. 1 minute, you're dragging yourself through the day, barely functioning. The next, you're wide awake at 2 a.m., thoughts moving faster than light, heart full of sudden clarity. That's not dysfunction. That's a download. When your energy suddenly crashes in the middle of an ordinary afternoon, it's not laziness or burnout. It's a reset, a realignment. Energy like this doesn't always come gently. Sometimes it roars in, all heat and electricity. Mars brings fire. Uranus brings the unexpected. Together, they don't just stir the cosmos, they electrify the spirit. And when that kind of voltage moves through you, it doesn't feel poetic or graceful. It can feel chaotic, even painful. For some, this energy will sharpen the mind, clearing everything with a laser-like intensity. For others, it will shut everything down. There will be days when you cancel plans, not because you're lazy or tired, but because something in your soul just says, stop. There may be moments when even the simple act of breathing feels like too much, and you'll wonder what's wrong with you. But nothing is wrong. This is the storm before the rebirth, and the key is this. Don't judge what you're feeling. Don't try to fit it into a neat explanation. Let it move. Let it wash over you like a thunderstorm. When you're lit up with energy, use it. When you're flattened by exhaustion, surrender to it. You weren't built to perform perfectly during times like this. You were built to transform. And transformation isn't always beautiful. It's messy, emotional, confusing, but that's how rebirth works. You asked to evolve. You asked for a higher path, a clearer purpose, a deeper connection. And this is how the universe delivers it. Not through comfort, but through raw voltage. The real danger isn't in the chaos. It's in pretending nothing is happening, in forcing yourself to carry on as if this is just another week on the calendar. It's not. This energy is real, and it's working on you whether you consciously welcome it or not. Your body is a receiver. It's picking up on frequencies that your mind hasn't caught up with yet. So if you find yourself moving differently, feeling things more intensely, Craving things you can't explain, let it be. Let yourself change. That's the system coming online. And for some of you, the shift has already begun. You've been sensing it. Not just thinking or wondering, but feeling it in your bones. You've had dreams that felt more like instructions than symbols. You've had flashes of insight that made you gasp. You've had moments where something inside you whispered, "That's it. That's what I want," even before your mind knew what it meant. You're not imagining it. You're not broken. You're ahead. You're already plugged into the current, already tuned to the frequency that others haven't even noticed yet. And yes, that can be isolating. It can make you feel like no one around you understands what you're sensing. But that's not a flaw. It's a responsibility. Those who feel it early are not just experiencing the shift. They're being chosen by it. Chosen to prepare, to listen, to adjust before the rest of the world is even aware that change is coming. That sensitivity you sometimes curse, it's not a weakness. It's a signal. It means you're connected. It means the universe is speaking to you in a language beyond logic. And yes, there's a cost. You may feel out of sync. You may be overwhelmed. But it also means that when the energy peaks, you'll already be aligned. You won't be scrambling to adapt. You'll be ready to rise. You're not arriving early by coincidence. There's a reason you're ahead of the curve, sensing something stirring before the rest of the world catches on. This isn't just chance. It's divine orchestration. You're being aligned with a moment that's about to change everything, and though the collective may not yet feel it, you do. You feel the tremble in the air before the storm breaks. You feel the call in your bones before the event even reveals itself. And part of what you're being prepared for is a meeting. A person you didn't expect, coming into your life seemingly out of nowhere. But their presence carries far more weight than it seems on the surface. What they represent in your journey is not what you might assume. Their appearance could feel off, strangely timed, confusing even. They might not speak like a teacher, look like a guide, or behave in a way that makes sense. And yet, there they are, intersecting your path with a subtle intensity that demands you take notice. This isn't just a person. This is the third test, the final initiation before you cross into the next realm of your unfolding. But here's the twist. These tests don't follow a linear script. They're shaped by your soul's rhythm, not a cosmic checklist. You may have already faced the first, skipped the second, and found yourself staring into the third without warning. This isn't the kind of test that storms in with cosmic thunder or glowing revelations. It doesn't make an entrance with dramatic flair. In fact, it barely makes an entrance at all. It comes softly, sliding into your life with no introduction. It may arrive in the form of someone serving you coffee, giving you oddly specific advice that pierces through your defenses. It could be a comment under a video you almost scrolled past, but something about it lingers. It might be a stranger who disrupts your routine or delays your schedule, leaving you momentarily frustrated but inexplicably intrigued. Maybe it's someone from your past resurfacing in the strangest way, carrying energy that feels both uncomfortable and strangely familiar. You may not be able to put your finger on why this moment pulls at you, why this person feels like more than what they appear. But something within you pauses, even if only for a breath. That pause is sacred. That interruption is intentional. This is the gatekeeper, though they don't wear robes or radiate with celestial light. In fact, the gatekeeper rarely looks how you'd expect. They might appear messy, chaotic, out of place, even irritating, but the soul within them holds a key, and the way that key is handed to you will never be obvious. The true challenge isn't in solving a riddle or passing a moral test. The challenge is in your perception. Can you hold space for the sacred in the mundane? Can you recognize divine timing wrapped in awkwardness? Are you able to receive wisdom when it's delivered through someone who doesn't seem wise? The moment may feel insignificant. The person may seem random. The experience may appear meaningless. But if your awareness is sharp, if your heart is open, you'll feel it. A flicker of something beyond the ordinary. That moment is the test. That person, that encounter, is a reflection of your readiness. The question is, can you notice the moment when your logical mind says, ignore this, but your spirit whispers, look closer? If you're too quick to dismiss, too busy to pause, you may walk right past a doorway your soul has been calling toward. And it won't always come with fireworks. In fact, the most important initiations rarely do. They slip into your life like background noise, disguised as something insignificant. The real test is whether you're listening closely enough to catch the signal within the noise. If you rush through the moment, you may miss the key entirely. If you judge the messenger, the message dissolves before it has a chance to open you. Every gatekeeper you meet is a mirror, showing you not who they are, but who you are. And you only pass when you stop flinching at your own reflection, when you stop rejecting the discomfort, the unexpected, and begin to trust that every twist in your path has a reason. This isn't about being nice. This isn't about going along with everyone you meet. This is about being spiritually awake enough to notice when something deeper is unfolding, even if it looks like a detour or a delay. Sometimes the doorway to the next version of yourself is hidden inside an encounter that feels like nothing special. But your soul knows. You'll feel it in that slight hesitation, that inner tug, that soft whisper that says, "This is different. Pay attention." And here's the deeper truth. You may have already encountered this test without realizing it. In the past few days, someone may have entered your space briefly, someone unexpected, and you might have brushed it off, thinking it was just another passing moment. But even if you missed it, that doesn't mean you've failed. The universe is generous with its mysteries. Another test may have come in even more secretly, in the form of a quiet choice you made. Maybe it was a decision no one saw, something you did when no one was watching, but it carried a frequency of alignment so pure that the universe smiled and said, "Yes, that counts." Not every spiritual milestone is marked by ceremony. Some initiations are soft and nearly invisible. Some turning points happen in silence. The most profound growth often happens in the quiet places, in the seemingly trivial decisions, in the eyes of a stranger you didn't recognize as a guide. These are the moments that shape you in ways nothing else can. And now comes the twist you didn't see coming. Not every test is meant to be passed with flying colors. Some are designed to teach through what you don't see, what you miss. That too is part of the journey. And the beauty of the soul's path is that no encounter is ever wasted. Even the ones that slip by become a part of your learning. Even the keys you don't use right away are placed in your field for when you're ready. So if something recently felt off, if a moment tugged at you in an odd way, if a person crossed your path and left you feeling strangely unsettled or oddly reflective, don't brush it off too quickly. That may have been your gatekeeper. That may have been the divine knocking softly on your door, disguised as inconvenience or confusion or even irritation. And whether you responded consciously or not, Your soul received the message, and if you missed it, trust that another moment will rise. Another test will whisper. The universe isn't keeping score the way you think. It's not testing to punish. It's testing to awaken you. These quiet encounters are not accidents. They are invitations. Invitations to presence, to discernment, to awareness that stretches beyond the five senses. So let your heart stay open, your eyes stay soft, and your intuition stay sharp. The final test isn't something to fear. It's something to recognize, something to honor, and most of all, something to feel. Because if you can feel the truth in what seems trivial, if you can recognize the sacred wrapped in the ordinary, you're already passing. And that means the shift that's coming, you won't just be ready for it, you'll be aligned with it. Before anyone else even sees it coming, you might not have seen it coming. In fact, it likely didn't arrive with any grand announcement or sign in the sky. And yet, some of you, without even knowing it, already passed one of the most meaningful spiritual tests of your life. It didn't feel like a test, did it? There was no calendar alert, no cosmic fanfare. You didn't even stop to wonder what it meant. But in a quiet moment, maybe last week, maybe sometime this month, you responded to something deep within you, something subtle yet profoundly aligned. You followed a nudge that didn't come from logic or fear. You chose calm when everything in your body was wired for defense. You held your tongue when you could have struck back. You offered help without expecting a thank you. You forgave without demanding an apology. You said yes to something that scared you, but your soul whispered, "Go." And maybe it didn't feel like a defining moment. Maybe it passed as quickly as it came, but it was powerful. Because the soul doesn't always shout. It often speaks in the quietest, softest tones. It doesn't need applause. And when you answer that whisper, even if no one sees it, the universe sees you. It recognizes the choice, and it nods in silent reverence. The spiritual journey isn't always marked by thunder or transformation that makes headlines. Sometimes, it's about those deeply personal shifts, the ones that no one claps for, the ones that happen while you're simply living. The real growth often comes when there's no audience and no reward. It happens when no one's watching, and you still choose to grow anyway. And maybe you're here right now wondering, did I miss something? Did I already pass through a turning point and not even realize? If you've recently felt a quiet change inside, no matter how small, no matter how unexplainable, it might very well be your soul acknowledging that yes, you did. You crossed something. You stepped into the next phase, and you didn't even need a sign to prove it. True growth doesn't demand recognition. It doesn't chase validation. It just continues to evolve. So if you feel like nothing big has happened, if life's just been unfolding as usual, pause for a moment. Reflect. Because sometimes the most powerful shifts are the ones that come and go like a breath. Easy to miss on the outside, but absolutely life-altering on the inside. And when you look back at these days, these strangely charged mid-June days, you might not remember everything that happened externally, but you will remember who you became. You'll remember the internal shift, the way something cracked open inside you, even if you couldn't describe it at the time. These aren't just ordinary days slipping by. These are pivotal days in your timeline. You may not see it now, but they're anchoring something new inside of you. A new rhythm, a deeper knowing, a quieter strength. While the world scrolls past the headlines and marks another week gone, you're being reshaped, often in silence. Something inside you already senses that things are different. Not louder, not dramatic, but undeniably altered. These are not empty hours. These are the sacred thresholds where a new version of you begins to emerge. Not fully visible, not widely recognized yet, but real nonetheless. For some, the spiritual tests are already unfolding, hidden in plain sight within everyday life. You may already be in it, living it. For others, it might appear tomorrow or 3 days from now, showing up in a conversation, a feeling, a crossroads you didn't expect. There's no countdown, no scoreboard, no specific timeline for when it's supposed to happen. And it's okay if you haven't felt anything dramatic. That doesn't mean you're behind or missing something. Spiritual growth isn't a race. It doesn't run on the clock. Some awakenings take a flash, others take a season. Both are valid. Both are sacred. So don't pressure yourself to discover the test or pass it like it's some kind of assignment. This isn't school. It's your soul's unfolding. The process is organic. It doesn't always come with clarity in the moment. In fact, some of the biggest transformations are only understood in hindsight. You might be driving, washing dishes, listening to a song, when suddenly it lands. That was it. That was the test. And I made it through. And you'll realize it wasn't about winning. It was about listening, about responding with courage and softness at the same time, about honoring the truth within you even when fear tried to drown it out. The universe remembers every moment you chose growth over comfort, every time you leaned into becoming someone new, even while being terrified of the unknown. Those choices, quiet as they may seem, echo through your timeline. They become cornerstones for everything that follows. And though the world might not recognize them, your soul does. The energy around you does. Because you are shifting, you are evolving, and it's happening even when you're not trying. So if you're here reading this, feeling a little unsure about where you are or what you're supposed to be doing, take heart. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't fallen behind. You may have already crossed the most important threshold, and the changes that follow will begin to unfold in ways you could never have planned. Just keep listening. Keep choosing growth, even when it's quiet, especially when it's quiet. And when it comes to those subtle yet profound moments of alignment, you'll find that the soul doesn't forget. Nor does the universe. Those moments become the compass for the rest of your path. Trust that what you've already done is enough, more than enough. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. Truly. Your presence matters. If this message stirred something in you or brought you a sense of clarity or peace, I invite you to stay connected. Consider subscribing to the channel so we can keep exploring these quiet awakenings together. And if you've experienced a moment like this recently, one of those small but powerful shifts, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. This journey we're on is sacred, even when it feels ordinary, especially then. Until next time, take care of your soul. Let it grow in its own time, and trust deeply that you are exactly where you're meant to be.